The Motorcycle Monster is brought to you by the MRA. Whether it's motorcycle insurance, roadside assistance, or motorcycle training, the MRA can save you hundreds. Remember, help is on the way with MRA. Since the beginning of the early 1900s and the advent of early production facilities by companies like Harley-Davidson and Indian, the motorcycle has traveled through a diverse evolution. From affordable basic personal transportation at the beginning of the 20th century to the long and low $150,000 pieces of true artwork built by master builders, motorcycling has come a long way. In today's motorcycle world, one of the most popular genres of the hobby is the custom one-off. As the popularity of the bike builder themed TV shows grow, the standard for the world-class custom motorcycle continues to rise. Whether it's a long, low-slung chopper with a killer engine or a throwback long fork Easy Rider 60s style, one of the most important elements of any motorcycle creation is the paint. When we talk about motorcycle paint, we also enter into another complete evolutionary world that travels the gamut from the basic black of many cruisers to world-class art. On a recent visit to Vegas Bikefest, the Monster crew was fortunate enough to visit with one world-class artist that has taken his years of training, experience, and skill from the canvas to the metal shop. With an impressive world-class resume that includes Lucasfilms, DC and Marvel Comics, Harry Potter and Playboy, Monte Moore of Maverick Arts is in fact a showstopper of epic proportions. Much like the larger-than-life superheroes he illustrates, this high-energy dynamo is not only jam-packed full of artistic talent, he is overflowing with personality and a lust for his craft.
I really consider myself one of those really lucky guys who I enjoy my job so much more than just about anybody I know, because I get to paint beautiful women and dragons or a NASCAR scene. To be able to say you painted an officially licensed bike for a NASCAR driver, and everybody from the corporate guys to, the person on the street says, I gotta have a picture of this to show my dad because he's the biggest fan.
Moore has gone through a bit of an evolution himself, from an inspired teenager with a dream to be a professional illustrator to a member of the Best Illustrators on Earth Club.
And you meet some of these guys and they look at you as a peer and you say, Monte, man, you might be the young Turk, you might be 20 years younger than I am, but you're with us. They recognize a skill level that you've achieved, and that's so satisfying. People come up to me and they say, oh, you must be influenced by somebody like Louis Arroyo or Boris Vallejo or Larry Elmore, and I say, you know what? I know those people. I've had an opportunity to meet them. They've called me a friend, or they've complimented my artwork, and it's like this kind of full circle moment.
Moore first started his move into the motorcycle world because he was not only interested in art, he also had a passion for motorcycles.
I also have a huge love of motorcycles, and even in the fantasy art industry, I was kind of always known as the motorcycle guy because I started doing some artwork with motorcycles in it, but I wasn't doing any artwork on motorcycles. But I had about a dozen personal motorcycles of my own, so friends would always ask, what I had and what I was riding.
Moore has aspirations to raise the bar for motorcycle art.
Most people who are painting on motorcycles started out as a t-shirt airbrush artist, and they graduate to motorcycles, and then they're still just primarily airbrushing. They're not doing hand painting, they're masking everything off. And 85–90% of the work that you see in the motorcycle realm is done that way. Freehand airbrushing, but it has that soft edge. It looks kind of out of focus. And so what I'm trying to do is bring a higher elevated art form to the metal and really treating motorcycles like rolling canvas. And people have been doing that for years, don't get me wrong, but by really eliminating a lot of the masking that you don't have to use and doing a lot of hand painting and fine detail work, the public has really responded to the kind of work I do.
Moore also has built quite a reputation in the gearhead world and is already doing work for some of the legends.
The public and some of the best builders in the country in a very short time have already responded to the artwork that I'm offering very well. I went to Sturgis last year, and I just carried around a tank with me that I had painted that had Marilyn Monroe and Ava Gardner on it, and they could see the quality and the detail up close, and that was enough for them, and started getting calls almost right away. Since then, I've already done 7 bikes for professional builders, one of which was on the cover of Biker magazine this month. One was in the World Championships of Bike Building. I did a bike for Rusty Wallace, the retired NASCAR driver. That was an officially licensed project. And I just got done designing a bike for Roger Penske. And the builder that had done that was called PV Choppers out of Iowa. But even this show has just been really phenomenal. Working with some of the upcoming builders, one of which is Mondo Forrest here out of Denver's Choppers, just considered the godfather of choppers and one of the nicest guys I've ever met.